Today, we are diving deep into one of the most ingenious, most competitive places on the entire planet, the rainforest. It's this incredible emerald engine of evolution, a place that has forced life to come up with some of the most amazing survival strategies you can possibly imagine. So, to get us started, I've got a question for you. What on earth could possibly connect the Sahara, the biggest hot desert on the planet, with the Amazon, the world's largest rainforest? I mean, they seem like total opposites, right? But the answer? Well, it tells you something truly surprising about how our world works. Get this. Every single year, powerful winds pick up and carry nearly 30 million tons of dust all the way from the Sahara Desert, 3,000 miles across the Atlantic Ocean. And this dust, it's packed with phosphorus. It falls over the Amazon basin and acts like this giant natural fertilizer. A desert feeding a forest. It's a perfect, mind-blowing example of just how connected everything really is. Okay, so what are the basic rules? What are the ingredients that create this unique environment in the first place? Before we can explore all the wildlife inside it, we kind of need to understand the recipe for a rainforest. It all kicks off near the equator, where the sun's energy is just at its most intense. This creates a really stable, warm temperature that hovers around 27 degrees Celsius pretty much all year. The final and maybe most important ingredient is rain, and a lot of it. We're talking a staggering 2,000 millimeters a year, minimum. This constant mix of warmth and water, that's the engine for the whole system. And you know, that rain isn't just showing up randomly. The rainforest actually makes its own. That intense sun beats down, causing water to evaporate and rise up as vapor. High in the atmosphere, it cools off and condenses into these massive clouds. And eventually, those clouds just have to let go, unleashing these heavy downpours, often as thunderstorms. It's a self-sustaining cycle called convectional rain, and it's the reason the forest is always wet and green. So, with water pretty much everywhere, the single most important resource, the thing everyone is fighting for, is sunlight. Life in the rainforest is this constant vertical battle for light, so let's start our journey at the very top and work our way down. Welcome to the emergent layer. These are the absolute giants of the forest, the trees that have won the race to the top and pushed their way above everything else. Just picture the mighty Brazil nut tree. It can soar over 50 meters high and live for more than 1,000 years. Just incredible. Life way up here is highly specialized, as you can imagine. These trees have these long, bare trunks, and they only sprout their big leaves at the very top to just soak up as much sun as possible. Their seeds have to be lightweight, designed to be carried away on the wind, and the animals that live here, like birds and bats, they have to be light enough to navigate these highest, most exposed branches. Okay, let's move down a layer. We're now entering the canopy. Think of it as a dense, 6-meter-thick ceiling made of leaves and branches that literally forms a roof over the rest of the forest. This is the vibrant, bustling heart of the rainforest. This is where all the action is. An unbelievable 90% of all rainforest animal species live right here in the canopy. It is just a riot of life. To spread their seeds, plants do this really clever thing where they wrap them in delicious fruit, basically tempting animals into being their delivery service. And because the leaves are so thick, animals use these loud, high-pitched calls to talk to each other. Even the leaves are smart, angling themselves just right so they don't cast a shadow on the leaves below them. And with all that rain, you need some special tricks. Here's a key one. You see those pointy ends on the leaves? Those are called drip tips. The whole leaf has this smooth, waxy surface that acts like a tiny gutter, letting water run right off. It's a simple but super effective design to prevent damage or keep mold from growing. And it's not just the leaves. Even the tree bark is adapted. You know, unlike the thick, rough bark that trees in drier places use to hold on to water, rainforest bark is thin and smooth. It doesn't need to save water. It needs to get rid of it. And that smooth surface also makes it really hard for other pesky plants to start growing on it. All right, so we've made our way through the roof of the forest. Now, as we go even further down, the battle for light starts to fade, and a whole new challenge appears: how to survive in what's basically permanent twilight. Welcome to the understory. Wow, it is dark, it's humid, and it is very, very still down here. That dense canopy way above us blocks out almost all the sunlight, so life down here has to play by a completely different set of rules. So how does anything make it down here? Well, plants get clever. They grow these huge, broad leaves to act like giant solar panels, trying to catch every last little speck of light. Since it's hard to see, flowers produce these really strong smells to attract pollinators. For predators, like jaguars, the gloom is the perfect camouflage. And right down on the forest floor, where only about 2% of sunlight ever reaches, there's an army of decomposers, fungi, beetles, that work super fast to recycle any dead stuff back into nutrients. Now, the thin soil here raises a big question. How do these giant trees stay standing up? The answer is buttress roots. Instead of digging deep, these roots spread out wide across the surface, acting like giant stabilizers for the tree. They also create this huge net that can quickly soak up all those recycled nutrients from the forest floor. Pretty ingenious. So we've seen all these adaptations, layer by layer, from the plants to the predators. Now, I want to zoom in on one animal that just perfectly captures this whole spirit of specialized survival in the rainforest. Let's talk about the three-toed sloth. Now, this animal might seem lazy, right? But its entire existence is an absolute masterclass in conserving energy and adapting to a life way up in the canopy. Its survival toolkit is just unbelievable. It has an extremely slow metabolism, which means it barely needs any food. Its huge, curved claws are like permanent grappling hooks, letting it hang from branches even when it's asleep. Its fur actually grows green algae, giving it the perfect camouflage among the leaves. And those long arms? Turns out they make it a surprisingly good swimmer when the forest floods. But this has got to be my favorite part. Thanks to some extra bones in its spine, a sloth can turn its head almost all the way around, a full 270 degrees. This lets it spot predators from pretty much any angle without wasting a single drop of precious energy moving its body. It is the ultimate adaptation for a creature that lives life in the slow lane. So from dust traveling all the way from the Sahara to a sloth's rotating head, the rainforest is just this incredible, interconnected web of amazing adaptations. It really makes you wonder, if this is what we found in just one corner of the natural world, what other marvels are still out there, just waiting for us to discover them?